Nyarogno gin lemo machalo oganda, to nyarogno ka nyarogno romre kod nyawadgi. Tich maduong' mar nyarogno en mar chungo pige masanja kod gik maricho mantiere e remo mar loso lach. Ka in kod tuo mar nyarogno, to mano nyiso ni nyaroki okethore kendo ok okonyi e chungo remo kaka onego otim.
Kwa majina naitwa Francis Nyakundi. I'm a nephrology nurse based in this Metropolitan Hospital, working in this dialysis unit for almost 3 years. The term kidney failure is a condition in which kidney is unable to remove excess extraneous product and excess fluids and toxins from the body.
Intiere ng'alo manyime mar bedo kod tuo mar nyarogno kaponi in kod tuo mar sukari kata tuo mar adundo magwecho matek kata high blood pressure.
Chronic illness, which is uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension, and also some of the conditions are because of genetic. For example, if the family, one of the person in the family had a kidney issues, it can be transferred to another person, to another party, and sometimes someone is born with the one kidney. So there's high chances that one kidney is unable to carry its function, so is going to end up having a kidney failure. And sometimes we have also what we call kidney injury. Maybe during an emergency, during an accident, somebody may bleed excessively, and that one may lead to acute kidney injury. If not managed immediately, then it's going to end up having a kidney failure. Also, sometimes kidney failure is being brought by the overdose of some drugs, because some drugs are very toxic, and the kidney is the one which is carrying the function of moving toxins from the body. Then these drugs are going to overweigh the work of the kidney, which is going to end up having a kidney failure. Most of the symptoms, they manifest systematically. Every system has its own manifestation. For example, when we come to the neurological conditions, for example, if somebody is confused, there's a mental illness, somebody is irritative, somebody is incomprehensible speech, that one is a sign that person has a lot of urea, which is being removed by the kidney. We also talk about the gastric system, the stomach. Somebody may have nausea and vomiting, which is also a sign of kidney failure. We have also what we call genitourinary system. Somebody may unable to urinate, to pass urine, or to pass less urine than normal. That's also another sign. If we come to the case of the eyes, some patients manifest with puffness of the eyes. They are unable to see very well. This is because of the excess accumulation of fluid in the body, which is being manifested in the periedema of the eyes. Sometimes there is accumulation of fluid which goes to the lungs. This makes the patient to start to have difficulty in breathing. Also, the patient may also have what we call some choking, feels like there is obstruction of the airways. That shows that this person is having a kidney failure. Sometimes patients are unable to carry out his daily functions. They are unable to walk, maybe let's say a slight distance. He or he gets tired. That's also a sign of kidney failure, because mostly kidney its function is also involved in manufacture of red blood cells. So patients sometimes may also have what we call anemia, because the kidney has failed. Then it's going to automatically affect production of red blood cells. The patient is going to have fatigue. That after some few minutes, she only feels tired. That's one indication that the patient is going to anemia because of kidney failure.
Ka ifwenyo ni intiere kod tuo mar nyarogno, to kaka inyalo konye kata thiedhe en mana timo transplant kata chako chenro mar dialysis. Ne waromo ma waloso kod Eric, ma bende nitiere otanda mar midekre ka en kod achiedh nade mar nyarogno. Eric ne pimonwa kaka tuo mar nyarogno osechame.
Majina mimi naitwa Eric Karani Daveta. Mimi ni mzaliwa wa kaunti ya Vihiga. Hii ugonjwa ulinishika mwaka jana mwezi wa pili, na ilianza kama nilikuwa na blood pressure, ambapo nilikosa mpaka kidney zangu zikafeli. Wakati nilienda hospitali, nilipima nikaambiwa pressure yangu ilikuwa iko juu sana, kiasi cha kuwa imeharibu figo, ambapo figo zimerudi mpaka zimeshrink na haziwezi fanya ile kazi inayotakikana. So nikaambiwa process itakuwa ni nifanye dialysis ili damu iwe inaoshwa, ama solution iwe ni transplant, ndio at least naweza endelea.
Nyadendi Alice en nyamin Eric to kendo ne opimo ne TV mar Lolwe kaka osebedo ka odhach kod tuo mar owadgi ma bende oseweye kod lwete nono.
Majina naitwa Alice Deveta. Na mimi ni dadake Eric. Yeye ni last born wetu. And alikuwa diagnosed na kidney failures kwa sababu he had developed pressure ambayo he didn't know. It was unattended. So went for medication. It was realized that his kidneys both have failed. So we had to start him on dialysis immediately. Now it has been quite a journey, very exhausting, because of dialysis has a lot of side effects. Anakuwa weak. Sometimes he develops pressure, sometimes infections. So finally the doctor said his kidneys cannot revive. Lazima transplant. Now as a family,
mimi mwenyewe wakati kabla nigundue nina pressure, nilianza kusikia tofauti kwa mwili. Kwanza nilianza kushindwa kupumua, alafu usiku nakohoa mara kwa mara, miguu ikaanza kufura na uso. Yaani condition ikaendelea kuwa worse, ndio baadaye nikaenda hospitali.
Inyalo paro ni Alice en min od Eric oyo. Alice en nyamin Eric ma bende osebedo ka okawo ting' mare kod nyithindo mane owe chien. Eric ne owe kod nyithindo 3 kod min ode ma bende ne oyudo keny e anyuola machielo, tok ne fwenyo ni Eric nitiere kod tuo mar kidney failure.
Still has small children ambao tunaangalia, 3 of them, and the wife left him because when he fell sick. Now all the children are less than 8 years. So tunafaa tulee watoto na to take care of him. So it's quite a tall order.
Mimi ilikuwa ni ombi langu uwezo nifanyiwe transplant, ndio angalau niregelee shughuli zangu za kawaida. Maanake toka nianze mambo ya dialysis sijarudi vile nilikuwa, mambo mengi yamebackslide, na mimi ni mtu mwenye nina watoto. So kazi hata ilibidi niache sababu nikataka kazi ngumu siwezi fanya. So nikaambiwa nikitaka niregelee hali yangu ya kawaida afadhali nifanyiwe transplant. Na mimi ni ombi langu naomba, sababu hata hii dialysis bado it is costly. Sababu hata kama si NHIF bado hata naona kama singeweza. So mimi nilikuwa naomba usaidizi kama watu wanaweza nisaidia, nichangiwe pesa nifanywe transplant, angalau niregelee zile shughuli zangu za kawaida. Sababu hiyo ndio suluhisho, lakini kufanya dialysis ni vigumu sana kurudilia ile hali yangu ya kawaida. Sababu most of the time ukitoka kwa hii machine unakuwa umechoka na urudi vile ulivyokuwa. Kwa sasa hakuna kitu kingine nafanyiwa, ila niliambiwa na madaktari I either nifanye transplant ama niendelee dialysis for life. na nikiangalia dialysis naona ni almost now a year nikifanya dialysis. Na upande wa transplant kidogo ni ngumu na iko high.
Dr. Francis Nyakundi en jathieth mathiedho Eric e od thieth ma Metropolitan kendo oleronwa chal mar Eric.
Eric is a patient we received from Komarok not more than 2 months ago. At first he had an infection. We treated with antibiotics, which by now he's fine. But the condition he has is what we call chronic kidney conditions, because we have 2 types of kidney failure. We have chronic kidney conditions and also we have acute kidney injury. Acute, at least we can reverse it back, but chronic we can't reverse it. Now our friend Eric has what we call chronic kidney disease. We can't reverse it back. The only thing we can do for now is dialysis and give also supportive management. For example, if there's infection, we give antibiotic. If the patient is anemic, we give transfusion. So our patient at first had an infection, we gave antibiotics, so at least now he is fine. But there's no assurance that Eric is going to come out of this bed as in complete unless transplant. So the transplant is the only thing, is the only therapy for this patient called Eric. Yeah. As long as you can continue dialyzing is just forever. There is no day we can promise that he's going to come out of this machine, unless otherwise miracles of God comes. Yeah.
Kulingana na daktari aliyeniambia wakati nilikuwa mara ya kwanza kwa hospitali, niliambiwa first of all kuna cost ya kuanza kufanya vipimo. Kupima utafuta dona, nifanye vipimo, hapo pana cost. Alafu transplant yenyewe tu niliambiwa transplant yenyewe tu inaweza chukua almost 2.5 million. Alafu kando na hizo vipimo za kutafuta dona, ndio ukiongezea inakuja almost tu hiyo transplant process. Sababu ukatufanya test kwanza, nikishapata hiyo test kidney zio zinaingiliana, ndio process ya transplant ianze.
Eric itimone dialysis mana mar gayo tuo mar nyarogno, to kata kamano to gino manyalo konye en mana kidney transplant mabende nengone odhuro mokalo.
Dona ilikuwa daktari aliniambia kupata dona wa haraka nitafute one of my family members.
Yes.
Hiyo itakuwa a bit easy kidogo kutafuta dona. So my family members ilikuwa ni pesa zikipatikana, nitafuta one of my family members tuende tufanye test. Juu niliambiwa ningekuwa na sure nilikuwa ukiwa mtoto wako kama au karibu, lakini sasa mimi watoto wangu walikuwa bado wadogo sana. So ilikuwa ni suluhisho tu nitafuta kwa family members. Hivyo ndio daktari aliniambia.
Ndio tuna appeal for help so that apate transplant aweze kurudia maisha yake. Actually ni sisi sisters zake tu tuna take care of him, raising the funds, everything, feeding him, taking care of the children. And just coming out of corona, some of us lost what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard. Actually, it's a tall order. So we appeal for well-wishers, that to well-wishers, if God touches them, watusaidie tu apate transplant, run his life, take care of his children, because bado ni wadogo sana.
Yeah.
And the wife remarried, is no longer coming back. So it's a case that just needs attention, because our watoto wanamuhitaji. There's a difference being a child without a father and a mother, and being a child with both. So these children just need him. That's why we are appealing for help. Actually, the children are our driving force, so that waishi wakiona baba yao, because they have lost touch with the mother. So anyone out there, please help us.
What I can advise both the relatives, both the people all over, is that it is better to start screening as early as possible, so that you can know if you have a kidney failure, because kidney failure is a slow process. It does not have a sudden changes. It's a slow process which is as early as possible. So if you do screening as early as possible, take your blood pressure, take your measure, also monitor your level of blood sugar in the body. You are able to know as early as possible. For example, on date 17, we have what we call World Kidney Day. So we advise all the people who are every corner to come for screening in our department, in our hospital unit, so that we can know if we can intervene in any case you have symptoms as early as possible. So Eric, if there is people who can help, who can chip in to help our brother, so that to have a kidney transplant, we will be very, very much happy, because here in the bed, it's not a wish of somebody to be here. Today is me, tomorrow is you. So help your brother so that can get at least a good treatment, which is kidney transplant. That one, we are sure the patient is not going to die from there.
Eric nitiere kod kwayo mar omenda. Ka omenda madwarore mondo otim godo transplant kore lach mokalo. Eric nomedo kwayo jalno ma Nyasaye odonje chunye mondo ochore lwete mondo owuogi otanda mar midekre.
Mimi nilikuwa naomba yeyote ananisikia, Kenya nzima, awe mbunge, awe governor, awe hata president, mimi naomba niregelee hali yangu ya kawaida na angalau niendeleze, nisomesha watoto, nifanye nini kuliko kushinda kwa hii mashine. So mimi nilikuwa naomba tu yeyote anaye chochote mwenye anaweza nichangia kwa paybill number ambayo utapatiwa, chochote tu angalau ni raise your money ya transplant, niachane na hizi machine, nione kama hali yangu ya kawaida kuendelea na maisha naweza rudi sawa. Ni ombi langu tu kwa kila mtu mwenye atanisikia, yani kivyovyote vile ni ombi tu, naomba wanisaidia na Mungu hataacha nikafanyia hii transplant.
Although it's quite expensive, but there is some hospitals which offer a cheaper labor. Some hospitals, some people tend to go outside the country, India. Some people tend to go to our hospitals around within Nairobi, like maybe MP Shah, Aga Khan, Kenyatta. It's around above. It's expensive. It is 2M and above. And remember, after transplant, the patient is also going to have some cost, some cash to purchase drugs, which almost cost 30,000 per month. So it's quite expensive. Even if the patient do kidney transplant, he also needs support from the people, from the family, so that to continue getting the drugs as the prescription of the doctor. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, according to the doctors, because initially akipata ugonjwa alikuwa Mombasa. So the Madaktari General Hospital, Coast General Hospital walimwambia if the kidney is present it can cost around 3 AM. 3 to 5.5 AM. So there is a relative who had talked, akasema, who had spoken that he could be a donor. Yeah, he could be a donor, but of course there is the process. So that process of testing still adds on the required amount. And then when he came to Nairobi, wakamwambia if there's a way the kidney can be gotten, if there's someone to give a kidney, then the amount would go higher if it's outside the family. But the doctors were recommending equal within the family circle. Yeah. So when you hear from different doctors, it varies between 3.5 to almost 5.5. So not knowing how much it can cost to go through the tests, the donor and him, that's why tunafika hapo tunaona it's a mountain. Yes, that's why the appeal is there. Even if there's a donor out there who can be willing, we will still appreciate. Yes. anybody who is willing to be a donor, God will bless you. So we appeal as a family.
So do you have a pay bill number or a
Yes, there is a
telephone
pay bill number and there is a telephone number that
You can just give out.
okay. Pay bill.
Pay bill number.
I don't know it off.
Telephone number.
Telephone number, mine, 0723 743562. But the pay bill number will be given on the screen. Yes.
Ne Lolwe TV, Anne Elizabeth Otieno.